In 1925, an 18-year-old girl got impaled by a steel handrail in a bus crash. Spine broken in 3 places, pelvis shattered. Doctors said she'd probably never have sex again. 20 years later, this woman had seduced one of history's most wanted revolutionaries, multiple Hollywood actresses, and her husband's mistresses out of pure spite. This is how a broken girl became the most magnetic seductress of the 20th century, and 3 lessons from her unhinged love life you can actually use. Before the accident, Frida wasn't some shy girl waiting to be awakened by trauma. At 15, she ran with a gang called Los Cachuchas, intellectual kids who smoked, debated politics, and terrorized professors. She dressed in men's suits, cursed constantly, was already the person everyone was slightly afraid of and extremely interested in. Then September 1925, the crash, months in bed, over 30 surgeries across her lifetime. Her mom installed a mirror above her bed. Frida started painting self-portraits because she was the only subject available. And here's the key, she didn't hide the damage. She featured it, put her broken body, her miscarriages, her pain directly into her art and her conversation. Lesson number 1, vulnerability owned confidently is magnetic. Most people hide their damage thinking it makes them less attractive. Frida did the opposite. Here's the psychology. Radical honesty signals confidence. It says, I've already accepted the worst parts of myself, so your judgment means nothing. She didn't seduce people despite being broken. The way she carried her brokenness was the seduction. Enter Diego Rivera, famous muralist, communist icon, looked like a toad that made a wish. Diego was 42, already married, already notorious for sleeping with everyone. Frida was 22. She walked up to him while he was painting a mural and said, I didn't come for compliments. I want serious criticism. No fawning, no flirting. Basically, I don't care that you're famous. Can you help me or not? Diego was surrounded by people who wanted something from him. Frida acted like she was doing him a favor. Married within a year, her parents called it the marriage between an elephant and a dove. They should have called it mutually assured destruction. Diego cheated constantly, everyone knew. Frida tolerated it until he crossed the one line that couldn't be uncrossed. He slept with her younger sister, Christina. This wasn't just some random affair, this was family. Christina had children Frida helped raise. They saw each other constantly, every family gathering now poison. Frida chopped off the long hair Diego loved, painted herself in a man's suit looking hollow, moved out. The marriage was over. Except it wasn't, because Frida didn't just grieve. She got strategic. She started sleeping with everyone, not secretly, publicly. People Diego respected, people who intimidated him, artists, politicians, women, which wounded his machismo ego even more.
I had 2 accidents in my life. The bus and Diego. Diego was worse.
Lesson number 2, never be the only one invested. Here's what she understood. The moment you become desperate, you become repulsive. By refusing to beg, by matching his energy, by showing she had options, she flipped the power dynamic completely. Diego went crazy. He'd shown up jealous at her exhibitions, couldn't stand seeing her thrive without him. They divorced. A year later, he proposed again.
What?
She accepted, but on her terms this time. Separate bedrooms, financial independence, freedom to see whoever she wanted. The person willing to walk away has all the power. Frida was always willing to walk, even when it was killing her inside. Let's talk about her roster, because it's insane. Leon Trotsky, the Soviet revolutionary, co-architect of the Russian Revolution, the man who built the Red Army. Stalin wanted him dead so badly he sent assassins across the globe hunting him. Trotsky was hiding at Frida's house in Mexico City for political asylum. His wife Natalia was there. Diego was there. Armed guards patrolled everywhere. The most dangerous man in the Western Hemisphere, under constant threat of assassination. Within months, Frida had him writing her love letters. They developed a system, passing secret notes hidden inside books they'd exchange in front of everyone. His wife would be sitting right there in the room while Trotsky handed Frida a book with a love note tucked inside the pages. A man who'd faced down the Tsar's armies, who'd survived exile and revolution, who had a literal death squad hunting him, reduced to sneaking around like a nervous teenager, passing notes in class.
She makes me forget I am in danger.
The affair eventually ended. A year later, one of Stalin's agents buried an ice axe in Trotsky's skull. But for those few months, Frida had made a man forget he was being hunted. Josephine Baker, most famous entertainer in Europe, the highest-paid chorus girl in vaudeville, an international icon, met Frida in Paris. Neither was subtle about what happened next.
Ooh.
Isamu Noguchi, brilliant Japanese-American sculptor. Their affair was so intense, so consuming, that Diego allegedly showed up with a gun. Noguchi had to flee Mexico entirely to avoid getting shot. Rumors about Georgia O'Keeffe, a photographer named Nicholas Murray, who stayed devoted to her for years. Dozens of others whose names history forgot. So what was her actual technique? What did she do? She made people feel like the most fascinating person in the room. In an era before phones, before infinite distractions, she still stood out for how completely she focused on whoever she was with. She asked real questions. She actually listened to the answers. She remembered details months later. Trotsky said she made him feel understood in ways his wife of decades never had. That wasn't about being sexy. That was about being fully, completely present with another human being. But here's the deeper thing, the real lesson underneath all of it. Frida painted herself over 50 times. The unibrow she refused to pluck, the faint mustache she never bleached, the body broken and held together with metal and willpower. She decided these weren't flaws to fix. They were features, signatures, the things that made her, her. Lesson number 3, you teach people how to see you. She didn't wait for the world to give her permission to be considered fascinating. She announced it. Through her art, her traditional Mexican clothes, her attitude, her refusal to shrink. And because she believed it, everyone else did too. That's the real secret. It's not about being beautiful by someone else's standards. It's not about tricks or games or playing hard to get. It's about being so fully, unapologetically yourself that people can't help but get pulled into your world. 3 things to steal from Frida's chaotic love life. 1. Own your damage openly. Hiding it reads as insecurity. Owning it reads as power. 2. Never be the only one invested. The willingness to walk away is the ultimate leverage. 3. Decide you're worth obsessing over. Then act like it until everyone agrees.
At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can.
Thank you for watching. For more stories like these, hit subscribe.